With the 2017 NFL season just around the corner, our analysts provide their predictions, including the winners of individual awards and playoff teams for each conference. Check back later this week for Championship Sunday Super Bowl forecasts. Awards: AFC playoff teams, NFC playoff teams, championship games, NFC East, Judy Batista, New York Giants. Lots of attention on the offensive line, but more weapons for Eli Manning, and the return of a powerful defense put the Giants back at the top of a loaded division. Steve Wyke, Philadelphia Eagles. This defensive front is going to cause problems, and Carson Wentz looks like the real deal. The blue-collar roster and work ethic is going to pay dividends. Ike Taylor, Giants. Evan Ingram is the X-factor the Giants have been looking for. Morris Jones-Drew, Giants. With the additions the Giants have made over the last two off-seasons, this franchise is trying to buy a championship. Jeffrey Chadier, Giants. Their offense gets so much exposure largely because of Odell Beckham Jr. that people forget how dominant they are on defense. Heath Evans, Giants. They dominated Dallas last season and will dominate the division this year. Greg Rosenthal, Eagles. Any one of the NFC East's four teams could win the division and it wouldn't be a shock. Gil Brandt, Giants. They have a great defense but need help in the run game. Eli Manning should have a banner year thanks to receiving additions. Reggie Wayne, Giants. This team is probably the most balanced in the division. Charlie Casserly, Giants. The defense carries this team to the top of the NFC East. Adam Rank, Dallas Cowboys. No Zeke, no problem with this offensive line, as Dak Prescott emerges as a true leader. Dan Hanzus, Giants. You can make a case for any of the teams in this division getting a cap and t-shirt after Week 17, but the Giants are the safest choice. Mark Sessler, Giants. One more playoff push for Eli on a Giants team led by its marvelous and deep defense. Adam Shine, Eagles. I'm obsessed with Carson Wentz and I loved the Alshon Jeffrey signing. The Giants' defense and passing attack are splendid, but I think the Eagles' running backs and offensive line are vastly superior. Dave Dameshek, Eagles. There are questions at CB, but every team is weak somewhere. Philly's D has a rotation up front that recalls a key element of Tom Coughlin's Super Bowl-winning Giants. NFC North, Judy Batista, Green Bay Packers. We saw last season how the Packers can roar out of a slump. This time, their division supremacy won't be in doubt. Steve Wyke, Packers. The defense clearly remains a weak spot, but offensively, the Packers are simply much better than any team in a better-than-it team's division. Ike Taylor, Detroit Lions. Stafford, Morris Jones-Drew, Packers. Aaron Rodgers carries this team again. Jeffrey Chadier, Packers. They have enough firepower on offense, but their defense has to be better. Heath Evans, Minnesota Vikings. Mike Zimmer's defense versus Green Bay's offense. I'm taking Zimmer all day. Dan Hanzus, Packers. They are the safest choice as long as Aaron Rodgers is still Aaron Rodgers. Greg Rosenthal, Packers. Mike McCarthy's squad has made the divisional round in 6 of the last 7 seasons, and this year's version looks better than usual. Gil Brandt, Packers. Green Bay won 6 games in a row to close out the 2016 regular season and has better weapons this year. Reggie Wayne, Packers. I was leaning toward Minnesota here, but I can see the playoff picture without Aaron Rodgers. Charlie Casserly, Packers. The offense was good before Martellus Bennett and Lance Kendricks. It's even better now. Adam Rank, Vikings. Dalvin Cook and a revamped offensive line thrive as the defense rebounds. Mark Sessler, Packers. If not the Packers in the North, then who? Adam Shine, Packers. Aaron Rodgers wins the MVP award and carries Green Bay to another division title. Dave Dameshek, Packers. Green Bay's the obvious choice here, but the Vikes and Lions are both flying under the radar right now, and the Bears have a shot to get to .500. NFC South, Judy Batista, Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons will recover from their Super Bowl meltdown to win the division again, but the Bucs will give them a run for it. Steve Wyke, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yep, I'm in on this trendy pick. This hard-hitting defense is going to cause an uptick in its opponents' dental implant budgets. Ike Taylor, Buccaneers. Jameis Winston is firing on all cylinders. Morris Jones-Drew, Buccaneers. Jameis makes enough plays to push the Bucs to the top. Jeffrey Chadier, Falcons. The Falcons have enough talent to avoid the dreaded Super Bowl hangover. Greg Rosenthal, Falcons. The team's improving defense and depth throughout the roster should stave off any Super Bowl hangover. Heath Evans, Falcons. The offense appears to be picking up where it left off and the defense is improved. Dan Hanses Falcons. The fear of a Super Bowl hangover is very real, but it's still hard to imagine this offense not rolling up 30 points every week. Gilbrandt Falcons. Playing in the best division in the NFL, Matt Ryan continues to be outstanding and Dan Quinn is one of the best in the biz. Reggie Wayne Buccaneers. Dirk Koetter and Jameis Winston lead the Bucs to the top of possibly the toughest division in football. Charlie Casserly Falcons. The defensive improvement will offset the slight setback they have on offense. Adam Rank Buccaneers. It's time. Mark Sessler Falcons. Ticket the Falcons for a first-round bye. They won't skip a beat while scorching teams with the NFL's most dangerous attack. Adam Shine Falcons. The Falcons are loaded and even better than last year. Dave Dameshek Falcons. I've had 11 Tower Epiphany. Superman returns to form and or Jameis is a charismatic leader may both be true, but they aren't sufficient reasons narratives to go against Quinn's gang. I do buy the idea of a Super Bowl hangover, but him investing in what ought to be the division's clear-cut best NFC West. Judy Batista Seattle Seahawks. A strange offseason with indications of tension and trade speculation gives way to what could be a surprisingly easy division title for the Seahawks. Steve Wyke Seahawks. There is a frightening edge to these guys entering the season, and that is frightening knowing how much of an edge they've always possessed. Ike Taylor Seahawks. Pete Carroll's defense is still one of the best in the league, and you can't count the offense out with Russell Wilson under center. Greg Rosenthal Seahawks. A healthy, prime-year Russell Wilson with the best defense of the decade should be ready to make another Super Bowl run. Morris Jones-Drew Seahawks. The Legion of Boom is happy again with the resigning of Cam Chancellor. Jeffrey Chadier Seahawks. They face the same questions as last season. Can their offensive line and run game do enough to help this team return to another Super Bowl? Heath Evans Seahawks. Seattle has a healthy Russell Wilson and a defense that will be enough. Dan Hanses Seahawks. It feels like this team has one more big run in it. Gilbrandt Seahawks. This team should have home field advantage from playing in a weak division. Reggie Wayne Seahawks. Despite a few questions on offense, more often than not the defense takes Pete Carroll's group to the top. Charlie Casserly Seahawks. Russell Wilson and the consistent defense make the difference. Adam Rank Seahawks. The offensive line remains a concern for this team, but the defense will carry the day. Mark Sessler Seahawks. Russell Wilson looks healthier than ever. The backfield is deep. The defense remains a beast. Adam Shine Seahawks. Russell Wilson is healthy and that changes everything. Seattle's D is still special. Dave Dameshek Seahawks. This team's on the cusp of a shake-up from the head coach on down. I say they go out with a bang. NFC Wild Card 1. Judy Batista Tampa Bay Buccaneers. With Jameis Winston ascending to the top tier of quarterbacks, the only question is, are the Bucs a wild card team or can they edge the Falcons for the division? Steve Wyke Atlanta Falcons. Do not sleep on this defense. Desmond Trufant is back and this lightning-fast unit should get the ball back to its offense quite a bit. Ike Taylor Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers is a magician. Morris Jones-Drew Falcons. This whole team returns and is hungry for another go at a title. Jeffrey Chadier Dallas Cowboys. The loss of suspended running back Ezekiel Elliott puts this team in a deep hole to start the season. Greg Rosenthal Arizona Cardinals. Carson Palmer and some of his young, rejuvenated friends John Brown, Tyrann Mathieu are good enough to win 11 games, which might not be enough to win the NFC West. Heath Evans New Orleans Saints. They all have the best defense in the league. Dan Hanses Buccaneers. Jameis Winston will play smarter and the Bucs will become a better team because of it. Gilbrandt Cowboys. Playing without Ezekiel Elliott for a while keeps them from winning the division. But they still win 10 games. Reggie Wayne Cowboys. This offense even without Zeke is dominant. It's an offense that controls the clock and really boosts the defense, which this team needs. Charlie Casserly Cowboys. They overcome a slow start and still make the playoffs. Adam Rank Packers. Aaron Rodgers alone isn't enough to win the division, but HES good enough to deliver another wild card. Mark Sessler Buccaneers. One of the league's most watchable upstarts finally brings joy to Tampa. Adam Shine Buccaneers. Tampa's offense is ready to dominate. And don't sleep on Lavonte David and Gerald McCoy on defense. Dave Dameshek Buccaneers. The hard knocks showings by Jameis, Gerald McCoy, Mike Evans, AL, make these guys easy to root for. NFC Wild Card 2. Judy Batista Dallas Cowboys. Personnel questions on defense, to say nothing of Ezekiel Elliott, may cause concern, but the Cowboys still have plenty to make it as a wild card. Steve Wyke, Arizona Cardinals. The early part of the schedule seems favorable. Final 4 games are brutal, but if Carson Palmer doesn't turn the ball over, his and Fitz's swan songs could be pretty memorable. Ike Taylor, Atlanta Falcons. This team will take the long route to the playoffs this time around, but a postseason bid might be all they need en route to the Super Bowl. Morris Jones, Drew Cardinals. Larry Fitzgerald and Carson Palmer get one final shot. Jeffrey Chadier, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If Deshaun Jackson and rookie T.O.J. Howard live up to expectations, Jameis Winston is going to take his game to another level. Heath Evans, Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers is the man. Greg Rosenthal, New Orleans Saints. All Drew Brees needs is a defense approaching average. This is the season he gets one. Dan Hanzus, Philadelphia Eagles. Carson Wentz takes the next step with a better supporting cast on offense. Gil Brandt, Buccaneers. They are playing in the toughest division but have an ascending quarterback with a lot of weapons. Reggie Wayne, Falcons. Atlanta had the best offense in the NFL in 2016. They aren't going to drop off that much without Kyle Shanahan. Charlie Casserly, Buccaneers. They break through due to an improved offense with Deshaun Jackson and O.J. Howard. Adam Rank, Carolina Panthers. Cam Newton comes back in a big way. And now with Christian McCaffrey, Mark Sessler, Eagles. Look for Jim Schatz to nab the Assistant Coach of the Year honors after flipping the switch on one of the wildest defensive rosters league-wide. Adam Shine, Cardinals. The Bird Gang is back. This team oozes talent. Last year's demise was flukish. David Johnson will run them into the playoffs. Dave Dameshek, New York Giants. The O-line puts a ceiling on how far they can go, but the D is for real and the pass catchers are sublime.